mother left me when she passed last year. And so it's a 70-year-old sweetie. She bought it for $260 in 1953 on a 10-year payment plan. And that's her in the picture with me up there going to Bridge Club.
Thank you, Sean.
Huh?
I'm just talking to Sean. Sorry. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to do that or not.
Sorry.
When you can't do that, you have to let me know. I'm just going to remind you until you tell me I have to do it.
As soon as I run out of oxygen, I'll let you know when I flip over.
Take a break in between segments. Thierry is dealing with some health issues, so.
I'm on the wait list for a double lung transplant at UW.
We hope none of your friends are available to give them their lung.
Yes, I hope so too, for their own sake.
All right, and Becky is our guest producer today.
Guest producer.
He's a longtime friend of the show and a friend. We got to be friends, 15 years ago now? Yeah. Huh.
In Palace Ballroom.
Yeah, Palace Ballroom.
Highest competitor on, what was the name of that thing you used to do every year?
Summer camp.
Summer camp.
Yeah.
Highest
So
competitor.
fun.
Yeah, she's not very competitive at all.
It was my favorite part.
All right. So also we have Loretta over here, who's going to be intending to be the long-term producer of the show. So we are all gathering. Liz in the back puts the show sheets together.
Yeah, thank you, Liz.
And what's your name? Kelsey's here taking pictures today for social media. Is that right for social? Or is that what that is? Yeah. So if you don't want to be on camera, you should let someone know.
Also, we are
But
live.
you're also live on YouTube as we go here. This is a YouTube camera, and this is a YouTube camera. The last thing I'll tell you is that we brought over the last of the Hannah's Choice musk melons that I cut up over there, and it's my favorite cantaloupe of all the different varieties I've had in my lifetime. And it doesn't bang you over the head, but wait till you kind of get that perfume that comes from that particular melon. My wife grows them over at our farm in Prosser, and it is it's always the best day when they get started, and it's the worst day when they go away. But it's a beautiful 8 weeks in between, and then we have that to look forward to next year.
How big are they? What do they look like?
That one was 3 pounds. It was pretty big. They come in all sizes.
They look like a big cantaloupe.
Okay.
Hey, Annie, I did your job for you and dished up some melons for our lovely guest. I'm used to doing Annie's job for this.
And the first thing she said, you did something wrong.
I know, of course. I think those bowls will be fine. You have a fruit salad for their sandwiches already, right? Yeah. All right, we're going to get rolling. Welcome to the Hot Stove Society Show on Cairo Radio. Yay! It's Chef Tom Douglas.
And Thierry Roturo, the chef in a hat.
Recently returning from Portugal.
That is correct.
And Puglia.
Perugia.
Did you have a lot of chocolate over there, or is it too hot for chocolate?
No, truffles.
Truffles. Chocolate truffles.
No.
Mushroom truffles.
And
fungus
chocolates.
truffles. Oh, really?
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was. I think I got my load of truffle for the year now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, that's like
you
truffle.
Ate that many, you mean?
Oh, yeah. There was truffle everywhere.
Oh. In the middle of summer.
End of summer truffle.
Huh, I'll be darned.
They were pretty tasty.
Usually they have no flavor this time of year.
No, they were. This is like the end of the summer, so it's actually very tasty. They're perfectly ripe.
Lovely. Well, it's good to have you back.
Very good
Loretta
to be back.
sat in for you last week. Bridget sat in for you the week before.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. They don't sound like you. They're not from Sheboygan.
Did they win the trivia? I guess Bridget must have won the trivia.
Of course she did. Not. We have a guest producer here today, Becky Guzak. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
She's going to be here for at least the next 6 weeks. And also in the past has done some of our trivia contest here on the show. So you took that on today. It's going to be Portuguese in nature because you just came back from Portugal.
Yep.
Did anyone else here go to Portugal? Because everyone I seem to know, my sister's there now. Manager from Edda's is there right now. It's like, what the heck?
Everybody you know.
Yeah, except.
And yet, I didn't see anybody I knew.
Oh, really? Not once? Oh, how funny.
That's funny.
It did seem like it this summer. You had a ball?
I had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
We started in Madrid, then went down to Salamanca, down the Douro River on a boat, biked every day, Porto and Lisbon. It was amazing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Biked every day.
Well,
It's not,
it
not
was
my
an
idea of
e-bike.
vacation.
There was electrical
Why
Was
you
it
go?
electric bike?
Why you go to a
Okay.
foreign country to work so hard?
Yeah, exactly. Are you supposed to be like on a river cruise or something?
Exactly. At cocktail every day, starting at 2.
Uh-huh. You're listening to us here on the Hot Stove Radio Show on Cairo. We have lots of things coming up here at the Hot Stove, which we always do. Last night I cooked a dinner for a business group, and God, we had a ball. They wanted an Italian wine tasting, so I got out my magnums of wine that I keep around for special occasions, and we drank 3 different Barolos and Barbarescos.
Wow.
Ooh, so good. Upcoming classes here at the Hot Stove. Dumpling Fest is happening the 26th, 29th, and 30th. And with lots and lots of different dumplings from around the world. We're going to enjoy that. Cook the Eucalyptus Cookbook. We had Chef Moshe Basson on a couple of weeks ago to talk about his new book. And he is going to be here on Friday, October the 13th to cook from that book. If you look it up online, it's really fascinating to me. It's old family recipes from the Middle East. I don't want to say Israeli or Palestinian or whatever, because it's a mashup of all those kind of family recipes. Right. Molten chocolate cakes. Everyone loves one of those on October the 14th. So check that out. And of course, our Italian intensive is coming up. That's a commitment. That's all day on Saturday, the 21st of October. It's a good time to maybe get a hotel room here at the Andra, the beautiful Hotel Andra.
The 21st of October, you're doing all Italian all day.
All Italian all day.
Wow.
So it's going to be super fun. On today's show, we're going to get some thoughts from Thierry and Becky on Portuguese restaurants. I wouldn't know where to begin, honestly. I don't really know what Portuguese food is off the top of my head. I can't really explain it. So I'm curious about that. And then I'm also curious, maybe in another segment, to talk about the markets. Because when I go to Portugal and I stay in a house, I love to shop at the markets and cook and have friends over. And usually when I'm in Paris or London, and you always do run into people that you know.
Right.
It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And then you invite them for dinner if you have a house, and you cook. It's super cool. Charlie's Produce, Cultivating Fresh. Abigail is going to be with us to talk about the Healeo brand of cold pressed juices. Food in the news, Chef. I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
About food in the news. So
okay.
One is, I was reading an article about what chefs are okay with buying frozen at the grocery store, and even maybe sometimes what they prefer. And it kind of struck me as like, I bet people don't know chefs are like, they're perfectly willing to buy certain things frozen, but other things absolutely not.
Right.
So we're going to talk about that later in the show. Part 2, we had a lot of good response about our series with Grace Lin from her new book, Chinese Menu, the history, myths, and legends behind your favorite American Chinese foods. I tell you, I am fascinated. I'm in love with Grace Lin. I love Chinese menus. I love that she has dug into these from several different directions, not just what you see in front of you, but how it got there. And we had a lot of good response on our email about her segment last week. We've got 6 more segments to go.
Wow.
Sam Spillman's going to be here from Caffé Vita. She's the one who talked me into that $300 burr grinder. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, we're going to have
the one
we already hashed that.
The one you
out.
put in the garage right after you use it. The first
it's that Goodwill now. Somebody got a nice little. Anyway, we love Sam, and our Portuguese themed trivia challenge today. Is that true, Becky?
That's true.
If you've been to Portugal, you can get it. But if you haven't,
You're gonna do great.
Okay, I'm gonna do good. All right, I like that.
He's already nervous. I like it.
I am totally nervous. Are you kidding?
Well, you're out of practice.
You're
out of practice.
Yeah, exactly. Somehow I wasn't invited. Can't imagine. Chef Thierry, your taste of the week. Don't give away our Portuguese segment. Did you make something since you've been back that you were craving?
Yes. I took the tomato soup and I made tomato soup bisque. And I made before I left. Before I left, I was fortunate enough to have Alice Wong from Darrington, my farmer, who used to bring us tomato and all kind of fruit and vegetables. And she gave me a case of overripe tomato. So obviously I was about to leave for 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, I need to process this. So I processed that and put it in the freezer in quarts. And I had 7 quarts of them. And the whole time I was on vacation in Portugal and Italy, I was like, oh, this would go good with my soup.
Anyway. Yeah, all that seafood you showed me, that would be perfect.
Yeah. So I came back and the first thing I did was take a quart out. And all I did was go in the backyard. My basil was still alive. I'm like, whack the basil, make a little pesto, and put that over that soup, the tomato soup, all over the soup. Basil pesto and a little grated goat cheese, not grated, but crumbled, and a beautiful piece of grain bread.
Uh-huh.
I was in heaven.
Yeah.
I
that
knew I was
sounds
home.
Awesome. Little olive
For
oil
some
on
reason,
top.
I can say, yeah,
Yeah.
good olive oil too. And yeah, it was delicious. So that's my taste of the week. Use your tomato, put them away, do whatever you can with it. But you only have a few more days left. Apparently, it's gonna. If you look at the weather forecast, after 2 days from now, they're putting at 55 degrees and rain every single
I know
day.
they said something about an atmospheric river. We haven't had rain in 4 months, and all of a sudden we have an atmospheric river coming our direction. So, good luck. Hope everyone survives that.
Yeah.
My taste of the week is, I've been, my daughter is prolific at knocking out grandchildren. And I've been taking Hercules to Chinooks once in a while with them. And I just have to throw it out there because I don't know that our restaurants are the best with kids. Like we take kids certainly and we do our best, but I don't know that anyone handles them as well as Chinooks does. It's just, he runs, well, he doesn't run around, but the place is kid proof essentially. And he has a ball there. They've got kids stuff on the menu. We go out and look at the boats. Chinooks over at Fisherman's Terminal. It's not the kind of place, as what I like about it. You can get wine and whiskey and all that kind of good stuff. But it's one of those places I think gets a little bit forgotten because it's over there on the Fisherman's Terminal and not easily seen by the rest of the city. But I just want to throw it out that they do a really nice job. They're really friendly. They take care of the kids and us all at the same time. And the people that work there, the bartender was there 43 years. Our server was there 35 years. Another server right next to him, 35 years. They take care. The people that are there have been there a long, long time.
Can you believe if you made a batch of whiskey that year he started? It'd be delicious right now.
43-year age, exactly. Coming up, Chef Thierry and Becky are going to share their thoughts on Portuguese restaurants. What to order, when to order, how to order, all that good stuff on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. So that's a typical open, right? You've heard this a million times. That was a stunning open.
That was
don't
a
you
good
think?
opener. Sound like a real pro there.
How long have you been doing this, gentlemen?
24 years, I think.
We lost track. Somewhere around 23 to 24 years, yeah.
I remember Seattle Kitchen.
Yeah.
Right? That was the
Live on Saturdays at Cairo. We would go for 3 hours.
We did that for so many years.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I missed but 3 Saturdays in the first 7 years of the show,
Wow.
including doing them from Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then we used to take
For
the phone.
Zoom. It was just a phone.
Sienna, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I used to take. No, you were on. If you had to have a dial-up connection, and I had a thing called a tie line with you, tied into the phone, and then it would host the show right from the tie line. And people still use them. This has made all the difference, though. This Rode mixer. Yeah, $500. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
I think we run our entire life off of that thing. Yeah. 5 pieces of equipment, huge. Yeah. We do our sound system here off of it, music, everything. What'd you think of the Hannah's Choice melons? Aren't they great? Just that lovely perfume that they have. Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah, that's the best that I've had too. No, I've got some. I got a whole bowl there. Liz, did you get some melon?
Oh my God.
Good.
Oh. Perfect.
Perfect. Perfect. Say it from down here, Chef. Perfect.
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 Amazing.
All right, you ready, set? John, all good? We're back here in the kitchen at the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo. And I'm feeling a little left out today, Chef. You've been gone for 2 weeks and you visited different parts of Europe, including Portugal. Becky, our guest producer, has been gone for a few weeks. I said, are you ready to get started on the show? Well, I'll be back on the 18th from Portugal and blah, blah, blah. My sister, I was calling my sister down at the Emergency Food Network. She's the director down there in Tacoma.
Uh-huh.
And,
Michelle?
oh, no, she's out right now. She's in Portugal and Spain. I called Gretchen, my manager down at Seatown and Edda's. Oh, no, Gretchen's off this week. She's in Portugal and Spain.
Someone sounds a little bitter.
I'm bitter.
But you were busy taking care of grandbabies.
But here's the good thing. I'm bittersweet.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes, I was taking care of grandchildren, including Hercules. That's the one in my pocket right now. The other two are little egg rolls. You can't even, there's nothing much to do
So
with them but
cute.
swaddle them and feed them. Tell us about your trip. Becky, why don't you get started?
Sure. Well, I had a lot of fun biking through vineyards and in the Douro River Valley, olive trees, cork, and the thing about biking, it was an e-bike, but the thing about biking is you get to just go 30, 40 miles and see all this slowly. And just nose breathing, taking it all in and meeting wonderful people. And then some city time as well, which was super fun.
Did you get in the middle of some of the drama that's going on with olive oil right now over there?
I did not.
Did you hear about it? Was
No,
it
I
chatter?
did not. What is that?
Well, it's gone up in price 100% because I guess it's the third year in a row of drought in that area and heat, excessive heat, and it's just killing the productions.
I can't
Is
believe
it
I didn't
just
hear
Portugal or is it all everywhere?
Spain, mostly Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
Which is a
Yes.
huge production.
Oh, it's the biggest in the world, and normally they put it out on the table. Help yourself, blah blah
Sure,
blah.
sure.
Not so much that anymore.
Yeah, even in Italy, they're slowing down on that.
Yeah, exactly. And Chef, how about you?
For me, I was in a town called Cascais, which is just 20 minutes south of Lisbon, straight on the Atlantic coast. Beautiful little touristic town. Very, very. It used to be very small. Obviously, it's grown tremendously because it's a hot spot. But beautiful town to walk in. Tons of small little restaurants, mom and pop restaurant, which is always interesting when you walk into one of those because English is not necessarily language. Thank God I can speak Spanish and French because once you mix the three together, you get some words
You get
out.
Portuguese, right?
You get some words out.
Isn't Portuguese like a Spanish and French mixture?
No, there's
No,
no
what is
French.
it? There's no French
No
involved.
French in
Okay.
Portuguese. It's mostly, I would say, Latin and something else. I'm not quite sure what the second one is, but anyway, very, very friendly people, extremely welcoming, very humble. The food is very simple in more ways than one. My first restaurant that we went to was a restaurant that was right on the harbor of Cascais, and very hard to find. It was in a mall where there was nothing going on downstairs. Everything was closed, and we're like, we must be in the wrong place. And then we finally asked with our broken Spanish and English and whatever, and the guy said, no, it's upstairs. So we went upstairs, and boom, a full restaurant.
Packed.
Packed.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, how did this happen? So anyway, the kind of restaurant that you see much more in Europe than you do here, where the whole intent of the restaurant is all seafood with a steak. There is always a steak available, but mostly all seafood. And you enter the restaurant and you have a case about 25 foot long of nothing but seafood, raw, that was of the day on the ice.
So it's just like you're at the Pike Place Market, but
you're at Pike Place Market.
But just one
Except
of this.
there's a
and
chef
six-
at the end
Yeah.
who cooks the food you want. So it's really, really, really cool. So you pick your own barnacles and cockles and mussels and different size of clams and langoust, like mini lobsters. I mean, all kinds of different things that you never see here for sure. I had the most attractive dish I had that night was by far little clam. They were no bigger than
A quarter? What size?
oh, not even
Not even a quarter.
and they were a little bit elongated. They were not quite round. But a whole bowl of that, there was probably 100 200 of them in there.
Mhm.
So delicious, tender, buttery, like, oh, melts in your mouth and very tasty. And very simply done. Just a little bit of sherry, little butter, done. That was the basic of the dish. No herbs, nothing, just by itself. So good.
So good.
So tasty.
I don't
It-
remember the Portuguese name for those little clams, but they were everywhere.
Right.
And there was a restaurant in Lisbon that had everything on ice, but then tanks. And they would bring you the
Fish?
not the fish, but the big
yeah.
crabs and
Yeah.
prawns and lobster and show you, and you could hold them. It was kind of
Yeah.
novel, but it was great. And we decided that we preferred boiled versus grilled on
Why?
the large
That's
prawns.
shocking.
I thought so too. It was
Yeah.
moister.
Yeah.
Instead of kind of that dried out bit,
Mhm.
it was just more moist and with a ton
Well-
of butter and olive oil and so good.
Yeah, except for the langoustine. They had langoustine, which is that big shrimp.
Mhm.
Which is sometimes hard to find.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah. And they had those, and those on the grill were pretty damn tasty
Uh-huh.
because they didn't cook them. They didn't overcook them. The grill, the problem with the grill is if you, Tom knows that as well, but if you leave them on there, it gets really rubbery
goes
and dry.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So when you go to a Portuguese restaurant, is it set up like they are here? I mean, I've never been to Portugal, so I'm assuming it's very European. So you order some appetizers and some entrees, and it's
They
very
have a lot of
typical.
share plate, meaning that they do really well with, if you're a group, we were a group of 6, and they do really well at recommending dishes that you can share between everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So you order 1 or 2 for the table, and you share all that, and then 1 or 2.
Because that ice fish table that you showed, I mean, it must have had 25 or 30 different varieties of fish in there.
Right.
And one was huge. I mean, you'd have to buy that for the whole table.
No. You don't buy the whole fish. You buy how many? You buy portions.
Ah,
So they cut the fish like a turbo. They don't give you a whole turbo. They give you how many portions do you want? So one portion is about, I think a portion is 6 ounces. So how many portions do you want? So they cut the portion of the fish, and then they make the dish with
Okay.
that. And then all the dish come with so they had a sautéed green, and I was not able to decipher what it was.
what green it was.
I couldn't tell, and I was asking, and I had no idea what the guy was telling me because I couldn't understand. I couldn't find the word
Right.
anywhere, and I was like, "This
Becky,
is."
is it like some of the rest of Europe where it's hard to find a vegetable or a salad?
Actually, I was really surprised how many greens we had.
Ah.
They had beautiful lettuces. Don't know why.
On the menu, or did you have to
Um,
ask for them separate?
On the menu.
Huh.
Yeah, on the menu. But your point about sharing was huge. We were a group of 8, and we would do the same thing. We'd order 2 lobster, 2 prawns, 2 things of clams, and then we just order more if we needed them.
Yeah.
But
And bread,
and
you
shared
know,
everything. Yeah.
fresh
bread
baked
was
bread.
so
Oh,
good.
there was some good bread overall in Portugal. I had some very good bread. I was impressed by that because that wasn't on my radar of breads. So
And is it typical? My feeling is sometimes you come back and said, "Oh, I had the best dinner at this restaurant," blah blah blah. And so often it's not that it wasn't good; it probably was fantastic, but just being there,
right.
It's the people, the,
people,
experience.
the
There was-
uniqueness of it
Yeah.
adds so much to your overall impression.
Yeah,
Yes.
there was
Yeah.
no Michelin star. There was just regular restaurants, but they were just welcoming, warm, and just being around friends and having a good time. And the food was definitely yummy. And for a lot of us, a lot of things were new. So
Yeah.
that puts even more, fun into the game.
Yeah.
And of
Sounds-
course, pasta, nata, pastry, the
The pastis de nata.
there you go. That's the little dessert. Then you get, it's like a little flan in a dough,
Uh-huh.
baked. It's really delicious.
Hmm.
You must.
So
have.
when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the markets because you both had houses, right?
Right.
Oh,
We
you did
didn't.
not.
No,
Oh, you
we
didn't.
didn't.
So I want to hear about.
We didn't have a house in Portugal. We were
Oh, you
staying,
had the house in.
no, we were staying in an inn.
Well, maybe we'll have to hear about that because I love going to shop at the market is half of the fun of going to
Oh,
Europe.
Agreed.
Yeah.
True.
So I want to hear
Yeah.
what you made, Chef. And when we come back on Cairo Radio, more on Portugal and Italy on the Hot Stove Society Show 97.3 FM.
Have either of you been to Sombrero de Bodin? It's not in Portugal.
In where?
It's the oldest restaurant in the world, the continuous oldest restaurant in Madrid.
Oh,
I'm trying to find a picture for you because they. Yes, yes. So we got a tour there, and it was pretty amazing. I'm trying to pull up the picture of all the baby pigs. I thought you'd like.
Oh, I've seen them.
Suckling. You
I've
have,
seen
you have,
them, yeah.
okay. Suckling pigs. Just
We were supposed to go in March of 2020,
Uh-huh.
and we lost our deposit, everything, $20,000 deposit on our house for the 10
Oh.
days, and
wow.
COVID.
I felt like the stuff that we lost on COVID, they honored it for the next
No.
year or something. No.
This
Bummer.
one just said, good luck.
See you next time. That melon is just and
Yeah,
fantastic.
it really is.
You
Little bit
cannot
more,
get
maybe.
you cannot get any more perfect than that.
Mm.
That is
Would you like more?
delicious. You guys enjoy your melon? There's a cup right next to you.
All right, here we are back in the kitchen. These are the lovely hot stove kitchens at the beautiful Hotel Andra, downtown Seattle, 4th and Virginia. Some landmarks. Serious Pie is right across the street, along with the Dahlia Bakery. Palace Kitchen's around the corner. Lola's right downstairs.
I'm dying to come here for a staycation after this long trip in Europe. Like, we got some great spots in Seattle.
I'm always,
Downtown is one of them. You could come here and have a nice stay at Hotel Andra and breakfast across the street. And
as a young chef, when I first went to Europe, I had always just heard, how great everything, blah, 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 right? And 3-star restaurants are what they are.
Yeah.
No matter whether you're in New York or
Right.
or California or Paris, right? But from a day-to-day restaurant perspective, the States do just fine.
Oh,
From that perspective.
yeah. Even with 3 stars, they do perfectly fine too.
So, Chef, we talked a little bit about the restaurants in Portugal. You went to also Italy, and then did you walk some markets? Because that's
Yes.
my favorite thing to do.
I walked 2 markets. I was a little bit limited on my walking because
Yeah,
of my
I know.
situation.
Yeah.
But I walked 2 markets. I did first of all, back to Lisbon, I went to the place called Time Out, which is
I did too. Time Out.
Time Out Market.
Yep. Used to be a
Yeah.
New York thing, I think.
Like the Time Out magazine
Yes.
people?
Yes. And they have a TV show and they have cooking demonstrations and that.
So, talking about a hustling and bustling place.
Uh-huh.
I walked in around 11:15 in the morning. It was fine. There was not too many people. The stall was just opening, blah, blah, blah for lunch. Came back an hour later after doing a little tour of the city. The place was absolutely mob scene.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I think everybody in Lisbon goes to that place just to have lunch. And the idea is it's a giant rectangle room or warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center are all the table and chairs. And on the outside are restaurants, stalls, basically. And each one of them is different. They all do different things.
Did you sit on
From-
the inside or the outside?
I actually chickened out because there was too many people. I
Oh,
got scared.
That's
I
fair.
was like,
He's got to be very careful.
Yeah,
I got to
That's
be
fair.
careful about the COVID thing. And I was like, it's pushing my luck a little bit. First time around was fine. When I went around, thank God I did go around when there was nobody in the place.
Uh-huh.
But my impression of the place is the kind of place that you and I would love to go because you can walk in front of those stalls and look at the menu and go, yeah, I think I wanted one of these. And then you're done with that. And then you go, well, that's not good enough. Let's keep walking. You got to keep looking.
But
So
they
anyway-
didn't have any grocery stalls at the
There was
same.
no grocery store. It was
So-
just eating.
So did you ever go to a stall or like a?
So yes, so further on to Italy, and then we were in this town called Perugia, and on Monday, I think on Monday, they had a farmers market, and we went to the farmers market, and the typical, small town, very small town farmers market. Monday morning, they open
trucks
the trucks,
roll up.
They open the trucks, and one is selling clothes, one is selling plants, and the other one
I
is
know you
selling.
can get a beefsteak or a pair of panties right next to each
Correct,
other.
correct.
Yeah.
You can wrap one into the other. And so anyway, the farmers with all the vegetable. I was languishing vegetable because between Portugal and Italy, I felt like I didn't get enough vegetable, especially after 5 days of traveling and everything. I was
Yeah,
like,
I have felt like you don't see them on the menus much, but you can always ask for them.
that was my biggest surprise and
Yeah.
my biggest, definitely my biggest surprise was every restaurant you would say, hey, do you have a salad? Oh yeah, we have salad. I'm like, it's not on the menu. Do you have vegetable? Oh yeah, we have vegetable. What do you want?
Interesting.
I'm like, anyway. So if you go to Italy or if you go to Portugal, ask because they have it. They just don't put it on the menu. One waiter told me, "Oh, we don't have enough room on the menu," and I'm like, "Well, that's a good excuse." Anyway,
Becky,
lot
what did you think about the market experience?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was super fun. There was, I loved looking at all the fish and
Yeah.
wishing I had a kitchen so we
Mhm.
could take it home and do something. Took a ton of pictures. But I was going to say, I saw so much burrata salad. Everyone had a burrata.
Everyone's got burrata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was delicious.
I'm a little sick
but
of it, but yeah. You know, I always tell people when they come to the Pike Place market, they have that kind of thought. Well, I'm in a hotel. What can I do? And so I tell them, go to Sur La Table, buy yourself a tablecloth and maybe a little board and a knife, and then go buy cheese and salami here and cheese there and smoked salmon. You can't buy fresh salmon, but you can buy smoked fish.
That's a great idea.
And then just have a picnic on your hotel bed. And it's then at the end of it, you have that little memento to take home to remind you of the whole Pike Place Market experience.
That sounds wonderful. Love it.
So anyway, that's what I would have done if I was in Portugal.
that's really cool. I like that. Oh, go down the ferry and then.
Chef, what was the one food item that you saw in one of the markets that you said, I've never cooked that before? That would be fun to try.
I haven't seen anything. I'm trying to think. That's a good question. Actually, I didn't even think of that.
I
So
saw
I've-
some creepy eels, like big eels.
Yeah,
Have
there
you
was-
Have you ever
kicked-
cooked an eel?
No.
Yeah, there was some. I've cooked eels before at Rovers, but I've never. Yeah, maybe some of those. Like when we were in Portugal, they had some of those rock, like clam, or not clam, but
Barnacles?
barnacles. Some of them I never cooked, like
Yeah.
twirly one with a long.
Yeah, why would you want to cook? Oh my
Like a-
God.
because they're
The
delicious.
hammerhead barnacles and stuff.
They're delicious.
I
There's
tried them for
nothing
the first time.
delicious.
Oh,
They
you
were
tried
really,
them?
We did. We loved them. Yeah.
Oh
that
my
was really good.
God.
Well, they were cooked and they were a
Yeah.
little chewy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they're like clams, but without the stomachs.
They're kind of like snails. I mean,
Just have a little
it's-
pasta
I don't
or
like
something.
snails.
You don't like snails either?
No.
So yeah.
Oh, because they're very similar. I mean,
Yeah.
they're chewy
Well,
and
chef, you know, I happen to have a few slugs in my yard. You could come over and have a feast.
there's a big difference between I'm a refined. There's a big difference between a slug and a snail.
Marketing.
One has a house on his back.
Yeah, Becky has a good point. It's called marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Actually, I learned that.
No,
from-
garlic butter.
You had someone at the hot stove a while ago that was doing a snail escargot business.
Yes,
And-
over in Squim, I want to say.
And I
Yeah.
have to say that I overdid it, and that's what ruined it for me.
Really?
Yeah. So
Ah.
maybe I could try it again, but
Yeah.
we had way too many tastes.
Way too many tastes of snails.
Yeah.
In did you have them in garlic butter?
Yeah,
or
we
what-
had garlic
yeah.
butter, pesto, just too much.
Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah.
Chef.
So anyway, back to the stall at the market. Back to what Becky was saying, the seafood out of a truck that just pulled up on the market is quite impressive. I wish we had that back in the old days neighborhood truck that would come by with the same amount of seafood in my neighborhood, because I would definitely buy fish from a guy who's like honking the horn, opening the stall, get some beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a sandab. I'll buy the sandab. They're beautiful, fresh on the ice. They just get,
Mhm.
they're fresh. I'll buy them. I think it's something that we need to bring back to the market is more seafood on ice on the market that's of the day. Because
You know what I think that American chefs kind of lose track of, because I don't know what our problem is, including myself in the mix, but just the simplicity of how to cook the seafood and just give it a quick grill, douse it with some olive oil and a squeeze of lemon, maybe a little flake salt, and be done with it and enjoy it for what it is instead of trying to manipulate it.
and it's beautiful. It's so tasty.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I can make you a nice, beautiful beurre blanc or whatever, some kind
Yeah.
of sauce. But yeah, there is something about grilled naturally, lemon juice, olive oil,
Yeah.
down, maybe a sprinkle of herb.
So you're saying don't use rub with love?
I'm saying sometimes don't. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I've often said that when it came to
Like a
Copper River
Copper River,
salmon
right.
season. Like, okay, don't put anything on there, right?
Right.
Just a perfect.
No, I agree. But the
Yeah.
beauty is already there. Don't destroy
Don't
it.
mess it up.
yeah.
And something
You know, when I did Iron Chef with Chef Morimoto, he made gnocchi out of the salmon. It's like we had these beautiful king salmon that he pureed and added flour to and made gnocchi out of. It's like, why would you do that to that gorgeous piece of fish?
Yeah.
So
That's why he lost.
well, maybe so, but But point being is like, I think we forget sometimes that when you're at those little fish markets, that a truck opening the door is like, take that thing.
Yeah, you see a
Especially
fish,
the first time, just eat it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you've never
You
had a
see
stand up,
a fish that looks like a sea bream or sea bass, and you look at that fish and you're like, what am I going to do with that? Well, just go home, throw it on the grill. It's going to be very simple. Stuff it maybe with some fennel, a little bit of salt,
Lemon.
pepper, olive
Done.
oil. Put it on the grill, and it's going to be tasty as
Yeah.
heck.
exactly. It's like the last time I was in Paris, I was at this meat truck. It's like a fish truck. There's a meat truck. And I was looking at the rump roast up on the counter. The guy just takes a knife, slices a piece of the rump roast off, and hands it to me. Here, try it. It's like,
That's your style.
there it is. There's a slice.
Somebody gets your number,
There's a
obviously.
slice of raw rump roast for you to try.
Oh, yeah, you want to challenge me? Here, try this. Oh, that's funny.
So we have so much to do today. We got lots more to go. Thanks for sharing your guys' impressions of Portugal and Italy. What a fun
Sorry you were
trip.
not there.
Sorry I wasn't invited. And most times, Becky, I don't know if you know this, but tables for 8 often seat 9.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Charlie's Produce is here, cultivating fresh. Abigail Lovas is here to talk about Healeo juices, the no sugar, no artificial flavors, no preservatives, cold pressed juice that's sold right here in the Northwest. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. Is that what? I'm guessing. Hi. Can we call you Abby?
He goes, yeah, it's my name.
Fantastic. I'll get some glasses.
Good morning. I'm Thierry. Nice to meet you. This is Tom.
Yeah.
Becky.
Becky, Tom, Terry. Okay, those are good, easy names.
Those are beautiful.
I'm only doing 3, so Abby, pick out the one you want to
To try?
try. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to try them now either. You can.
No, we have to try before this.
Okay.
So we have something to talk about. Just give me something to talk about. Just like that, huh?
Was that Bonnie Raitt?
Bonnie Raitt, kidding me? How could you not know that?
I do know that. I just told you.
Just a couple of notes.
What is this, beets?
Okay.
Oops.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
And, you could pass those. Sean, you want to get everyone a glass and they can pass the juice around?
Oh, I got
We don't have
I
enough
got
glasses to give
celery.
them all 3, so just They can have
celery
one.
and lemon. Yeah, that too. Celery, cucumber, lemon.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
what kind of kale is it?
Oh, curly kale.
That one.
Yeah.
Lacinato.
Definitely did not
What
have
kind of
a
kale?
lacinato
Curly
kale
kale.
profile.
Oh, curly kale.
Yeah. Like just
It's
So-
really
the
good.
You need
standard.
to bring the mic like this close to your mouth.
Okay.
Abigail, just
Otherwise,
like,
we won't be able
you
to.
can sound
You can
like
move
this.
it. Move it.
Okay.
Move it down.
or you can sound like this.
There we go.
Right here.
There it
Yeah.
is. That's awesome.
All right.
Beet was number 2.
Yeah, beet, and then the last one has a little
thank you.
spice to it.
So you remember the names of what we're drinking so that when people see them in the store? Okay.
Wow.
I sure hope so. I would probably be fired if I couldn't remember the names of the juices. Like, she's not a good brand representative.
Terry just spent a couple of weeks with Charlie in Europe.
Oh, wow. How fun with Portugal and Italy. Wow. Awesome.
Yeah.
How fun.
So is Robin still involved in this?
Yeah, he's still the CEO. And,
CEO.
Mhm. Yeah, Healeo is still like completely independently owned company.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I thought Charlie owned some of it.
Well, Charlie does, but like Charlie's produce.
He's an investor.
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah, and then Charlie's produce is our distributor. So,
Right.
um,
So you work for Healeo.
I think I work for both.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Isn't that nice?
yeah, it is. It's kind of fun. Like all the creative stuff is Healeo, and then sales side is Charlie's.
If one fires you, the other one might.
That looks like
Exactly. I need
a varied
Uh-huh.
breakfast over there.
Uh,
I had a rose flower water mochi donut yesterday that was quite fantastic.
wow.
I don't know if I see it over there.
I never thought I'd see the
that's a
day.
sprinkle.
Where did these donuts come from?
Huh?
Where did the donuts come from?
From the bakery across the street.
Dahlia Bakery.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's a great place. I think they buy Healeo actually and sell it there.
I'm looking to. I'm gonna try to bring it to Lulu at the airport.
Lulu, okay. The,
Because I know
the
you
bakery.
deliver at the airport already.
Yeah, Charlie's. Yeah, anywhere Charlie's goes is an opportunity for Healeo.
Yeah.
It's basically our yeah. And so you're a chef, obviously.
Oh yeah, I used to have 3 restaurants.
Okay.
I mean, through my career, I've had 3 restaurants: Rovers, Luc, and Lule.
Okay. Wow.
And
What type of food?
now I'm kind of
French food or
French American,
Oh wow.
local,
Amazing.
seasonal.
Okay.
Been a customer of Charlie for
Long time.
40 years.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, it's
All right, we're back in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove Society show on Cairo. Chef Thierry, what do you got a mouthful of over there, Chef?
You know, I'm coming back home, so I need to have that beautiful croissant, chocolate croissant from the bakery across the street,
Ah, there you go.
just to bring me back home.
We're welcoming in Charlie's Produce here with Cultivating Fresh. Hello, Abigail.
hello. Good
Hello.
morning.
Abigail Lovas is here. Charlie's is the distributor for your juice line called Healeo, Healeo. I know we sell it over at the Dahlia Bakery.
Yep.
We love it, and we're trying 3 different juices here this morning that are like the rainbow.
Yes.
They are, and so they each have these particular juices. I mean, you sell orange juice, right? And
Yep.
You just sell. Tell us about your juicing process first, because I think that's super
Yeah.
interesting and somewhat, maybe not unique, but more rare because it's more expensive.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a unique process. So we juice right here in Seattle down in Sodo. So we have a mega juicer and we load it with produce, and the produce goes in a kind of water bath first to be cleaned, and then juice goes up, or the produce goes up this ladder, and then the juice comes out, and then that juice goes into our bottling line and then into bottles. It gets labeled right here in Seattle, and then the unique part is after that it goes through an HPP process, so high pressure processing, and what that does is helps the juice kill any harmful bacteria. Like
Right.
if you're cooking juice in your kitchen, right, it's a raw product, so there's possibility for foodborne illness, so it can be harder to sell a juice like that. So what we do is the HPP, and what that does is kill anything that could have been a bacteria in the juice, but
Right.
since it's never heated, it retains all of the nutrients. So all it does is put pressure on the bottle. It's like, imagine that the bottle went to
In the bottle, or do you do it?
the bottle goes into the HPP
yeah.
machine. Yep. Yeah. So like bottled, labeled caps, that goes into the HPP machine. And it's like, imagine the bottle goes to the bottom of the ocean, and like that much pressure is, I think it's 18,000 PSI. So a lot of pressure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes it so that the juice is safe to drink, but keeps all of the nutrients, as opposed to pasteurizing it when a juice is heated, that
Mhm.
kills
Loses some-
kills
Just where
off
you
all
kind of
those
get flabby
nutrients.
juice, right? You
Yeah.
kind of get that
So that,
flat. You don't get the vibrancy.
absolutely, yeah, the
Yeah.
flavor, and then also all the nutrients. So you're drinking a green juice, and you want to make sure you're getting the benefits. And if it's heated, a lot of those benefits are
That is very cool.
on. Yeah, so that's how we make it here locally.
So this is kind of, in my mind, the whole juicing craze started with Odwalla and the whole, like, where it became more popular. I'm sure it was obviously long before that, but it became more popular during that phase, maybe 20, 30 years ago. To me, this is the like the top of the line next step.
Yeah.
What you're doing.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think like cold pressed is becoming more normalized, and using this HPP process is the next step, and no added sugars, no preservatives, right? You look at kind of like some of our competitors and adding purees and preservatives, and that all makes it cheaper. And so we use like 100% organic whole fruits and veggies. So like you take the whole head of kale, everything, the core, the stem, every part of the produce goes in. The only thing we do is like chop the pineapple crown off. That doesn't make it in the cut. But everything goes in and the juice comes out, and like that's it. So no shortcuts or adding water, just produce, about pound to 2 pound of produce per bottle.
It's just like juicing it in your house.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then your juices have claims on them. Like one I saw was a liver juice,
Yeah.
right? I can't remember what the exact name is, but
yeah.
do you have scientists to kind of develop that for you, or how do you know that that's a liver juice?
Yeah, so these juices actually started back in 2008. There was a Healeo juice bar, and it was
Up on Capitol Hill,
yeah,
right?
in Capitol Hill, and they created juices and vegan food. It was like an all health cafe, and at the time they were selling, a lot of people were buying juice cleanses. So buying 6 juices and just drinking juice for a day, or 12 juices for a 2-day cleanse.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see me right now, but that's never been me.
You're looking at the wrong guy. Maybe add it to the.
But I'm going to try.
Maybe add it to the vodka.
Well, our juices do make great cocktails, actually.
Yes.
Some of them makes awesome fresh mixers. But so back then was when all of these Healeo recipes were created, was at the juice bar, and selling all the cleanses evolved into, let's just bottle these and do distribution to grocery stores, because the market is bottled juices.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you gave us these in a particular order. We have 3 different juices in front of us.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Tell
about
us,
the color.
Yeah, tell us about why the order, and then do you think, are people supposed to drink them like a buffet like this, or do you just drink one flavor at breakfast and one flavor at lunch?
It's kind of personal preference. So if you're doing a juice cleanse, then you'll be drinking like a bottle every few hours for the whole day. But otherwise, it's just flavor profile. Our juices are very dense, so I do recommend like half a bottle is enough of a
Those are
serving.
full of fiber and
Yeah, okay. There's so much produce, and you can
Yeah.
taste, like you really only need a little bit, goes a long way. Even like the orange one, that's our Palm Springs. It's orange, grapefruit, turmeric, and cayenne, and that one like tastes amazing mixed with sparkling water, because there is so much orange and grapefruit in there that, like, quote unquote, watered down, it still tastes awesome.
Right.
But yeah, you guys have a green drink is one of our most popular juices.
What's that?
It's apple, spinach, cucumber, kale, lemon, all the greens. And liver detox is our beet juice, and then a Palm Springs is our citrus favorite.
They're delicious.
Good.
What's your favorite one, Becky?
I think I like the green. I was surprised.
Good.
The orange one's a little sweet. That would be fun with some seltzer water and make a drink out of it. But I think they're delicious.
And what do you like about the green? Do you like that it, because I like that it actually, you can almost identify the vegetables in it.
I
than
think
just
we
being-
nailed it, Terry.
Yeah, some of that, what is that green powder that they use in
Ooh, matcha?
sarsaparilla?
Chlorella.
I see.
Chlorella?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where it
Yeah.
just tastes like a big pile of green.
Yeah.
It doesn't really identify a vegetable.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
No, that's a really good point. You know what is in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was identifiable.
Yeah.
Which
You mentioned fiber. Is there still fiber? Is there water soluble fiber in it, or how does that work?
No, so it is like juice and then strained. So there isn't fiber in
Okay.
it. The point of juicing is to get like as much nutrients at one, kind of like flushing your body with it. So you're getting a lot of beets all at once. So it does not have any fiber.
I noticed Tom didn't touch his, but
Well, I haven't quite got there yet. Beets and I don't get along very well.
Yeah, and then we're lucky that we do make the PCC private label juices also. So if you go to PCC Market, you can see they have a full line of juices also made by us, and those are 7 recipes that are unique to PCC. So we got the Healeo line of juices, and then PCC, and we're working on some other private label partnerships.
Fun.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Chef, what's your favorite out of that group?
I'm gonna take the green as well.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I can really taste all those different greens in there. That's very delicious.
Good.
It feels good. Feels like I'm eating a salad in a glass.
You know, That reminds me at the farm. They got into the habit over at our farm. They make dinner every night, and then there's leftover salad. And literally, Dev, our farm manager, would puree the morning after puree the leftover salad,
Wow.
croutons, vinaigrette, everything, and have it as a green drink in the morning. So I will
Yeah.
take yours from Healeo
Yeah, no kidding.
any day of the week
Wow.
over that mush bag. Well, Abigail, thank you so much.
Yeah,
for
thank
joining
you
Thank
us.
so
you
much.
guys. Thank
Look
you.
for Healeo juices in your markets. I'm sure you said PCC.
Yeah,
I know Dahlia Bakery's got it. If you all want to run there.
Metropolitan Market. We've
Met
got
markets.
a Costco variety pack at the Seattle Costco and the Issaquah Costco. And various other
Well,
small.
Mr. Brotman's father started Costco, right? So that's he had an in there, didn't he?
Well, unfortunately, it's not that easy.
Yeah. I have a story for you about that too, which is kind of funny. All right, we got one more hour to go here on the Hot Stove Society radio show. We're thankful that you joined us, whether you're in your car, your kitchen, or your garden. We will hang with you for another hour.
Stay with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Me too. I need to do more juice instead of
Vodka.
Wendy's biscuit sandwiches.
I was wondering which one you were going to pick.
I'm getting to be an adult.
Go for
I
it.
don't mind the beat as much as I used to. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't love them either. So I'm not sure what else is in there that's making it edible.
Maybe just not too much beef. Just right. Terry, I think it was you that told me it takes kids like 20 times to try something before they start to like it. Is that
I don't know about 20 times, but
I
a
just-
number of
a
times.
number of times? Just,
Yeah, and never force anybody who doesn't like something. You have to make it friendly so that there is no push.
Apple, lemon, aloe vera, ginger, and beets.
The apple definitely is a great filler.
Did we catch up? We caught up. Good. Sean, I'm not sure if this fits in there, or we can do this, add this to the last segment if you can. Coming up in our second hour of Food in the News, part 2 of our series with Grace Lin and her new book, Chinese Menu. Sam Spillman's here from Caffé Vita. And of course, we're going to wrap up the show with food for thought, tasty trivia on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show 97.3 FM. Problem with having all this food and taste is it makes me salivate, and then I blur everything on the radio. It does.
Pleasure to drink that. It was good. Really good. But none of it is as good as that melon. Mm.
Okay. Yeah, it's a nice. What about mochi donuts? Any favorite there? 12:16, Abigail. Oh, okay. Got very quiet. What is that? Amortize was probably at what, 2% interest?
what would that be relative to like 100 a month? Yeah.
But 10 years is a long time for a plan for a stove.
Yeah, and then my guess is my dad paid it off sooner, but that's how you do that.
Yeah.
Like getting a 30-year mortgage.
Pay off
Pay it
one
off.
principal a year. Yeah. I always preach that. Just one more payment.
My little niece, who I'm carrying the paper on their house, was all in on that. I said, I'm going to give you a 30-year term, but you should really try to pay in 15,
Awesome.
blah, blah, blah. But, and she had 3 babies.
And that extra payment is
That would get in the way.
Yeah. She's only got 3, right? She got 4. 3 in 3 years, yeah.
3 in 3 years. Oh my God.
so my thing is when friends kids are having kids or whatever, I set up a little 529, not very much, but a little 529 college plan
Mhm.
just to get it going. And it's I mean it works. They don't need more baby clothes.
No, they don't. More
So-
plastic toys.
Exactly. So it's just kind of a fun way to the old person.
Right. But do you continue to donate to it
No, I
every
just do
birthday or
one.
just do
Well,
one?
it depends on if I'm still close with those people. I usually front load. I give my most generous amount, whatever
Mhm.
that is,
Mhm.
and then I'm done because then
You don't have to think about it.
and also you've got 17 years of runway
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
every birthday. Yeah. No, I did that with one when I just said no birthday gifts, no nothing.
Yeah.
Here's your chunk, and
I'm all about it.
yeah,
Yeah, birthday gift is like
Yeah.
T-shirts for Christmas, socks and underwear,
nope.
and that's it.
Uh-huh. You should take a picture of those, and I'll give you his phone number. That'd be really sweet
That's really
for
sweet.
you to remember that. Yeah. I have them for, I think I still have some from my grandparents.
Wow. It's a little spicy.
Isn't that the rose water one?
There's a little spice in that orange juice. On the finish. Oh, cayenne. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it tastes a little rosy to get the aftertaste.
Is that the pink one, Tom?
No, I don't know what the pink one is.
What's the pink one?
Oh, that's awesome.
That's never going to stop.
Potential.
105 temperature. My wife always goes, I can't believe you're hungry. Or like, if I'm sleeping and she goes, and then I will go, I need to eat something. She's like, I can't believe you want to eat. I'm like, well,
I want to eat all the time.
exactly. Okay. Food in the news, Tom. This is it. This is it. Who was whistling that? This is it. Who sings that?
No.
Yeah,
Kenny
probably more Kenny Logan than anybody
I was
else.
going to trust my search skills, and I failed.
Okay, so this is where this is hard for me in the middle of the show.
Okay.
So you and Liz and I were talking about it, like narrowing this down
Yes.
to
So just
what's the,
it's actually Michael Jackson.
What?
This is it. It says Michael
Really?
Jackson. No? Well, Wikipedia.
It's too cheesy for Michael Jackson.
It's co-written by American singer-songwriter Michael Jackson and Canadian Pauline.
Polanka.
what's the most famous song that Paul Anka wrote?
I don't know.
On the road again? No, that's not him. That's somebody else.
Made famous by, you would never guess,
Oh, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be.
Frank Sinatra.
Yep. Oh yeah, My Way.
Ah,
But you know who actually wrote that song first?
Paul Anka.
No,
You can't write it first.
No.
You either write it
Polanka.
or you didn't write it.
Hey, hold on one second before you put your foot in your mouth, and you can research that. It was actually made by a Frenchman,
Well, it doesn't count.
written by.
I said write it first.
It was written by a Frenchman.
but it was in French, so it doesn't.
Correct. And Polanka put it in English.
Ah,
Yes, sir. (1979) what? You were right.
all right.
Your Google is not very good, Becky.
I know.
You should change
I
it.
know.
You should get le Google
I got to stop using Chat GPT.
or il Google.
Il-
They work. They're much better. Le Google.
Okay.
This makes a lot of sense to me because I didn't understand what the whole articles were, but I get it now.
Oh, you have a show sheet? Yeah, you.
I do,
you-
but I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
For next time, I got it.
And I can go through and just do it, circle what she did.
Yeah, but it,
But this way she doesn't have to print
Yep.
it all. Yeah.
Yep. like you said, you're just looking for talking points, not validation or.
Yeah, because
you
we
know.
only have 5 minutes. Once I do the opening and. Chef, you ready? Sean, you ready?
So ready.
All right. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Hot Stove Society radio show. We're here in downtown Seattle. Thanks for joining us. Becky Guzak is sitting in the production seat today. He's our producer today. Chef is back from, both of you are back from Portugal and Italy and Spain.
We had so much fun, Tom. You have no idea.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've secured some ideas of how much fun you've had
Okay.
and how much
Time
my
to buy your
anger is
ticket.
boiling over for not being invited. We have, of course, Food for Thought Tasty Trivia brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs coming up at the end of this hour. Our second in a series with Grace Lin and her new book, Chinese Menu, is going to be on the Zoom call today. We have Sam from Caffé Vita coffee, and also that there's a new coffee out with one of the Sounder football players, so soccer players. Yeah, so looking forward to that.
Exciting.
But first, it's time for Food in the News. And I sent you guys some articles that I had written, and I'm going to ask you both how you feel about this. Because, Chef, you and I have both seen this happen in our restaurants, you more than me, but where you work really hard on a dish, you send it out, and next thing you know, you just watch it sitting there while someone fusses around with a telephone or something to take a
Yep.
picture of it.
Yep.
And that maybe or maybe not, it's still warm when they actually eat it.
Yeah.
So Yelp is looking for a chief food photographer. You can apply for the position through October 7th. Submit one entry of up to 10 photos and a 30 to 60-second video sharing why you should be the person chosen for the job. And boom, you're in the running.
And they only need one?
I guess that's right. It
Wow.
should be noted that the photos entered have to be images that you've already uploaded to Yelp. So you have to be kind of one of their users.
Yeah, you already have to be in the
Which-
game.
Are you a Yelp user?
No.
No, me neither.
I can't.
I bet Becky is.
I don't like public stuff.
There you
Oh,
You're on the radio.
Oh,
York. If you're unsure how to add your photo,
Oops.
Yelp support
Right,
page is there to
right.
help. Applicants will be judged on their photography quality, social media skills, and overall love for local restaurants. I have local restaurants. You can love me all you want. For more details, go to the official rules page. So it sounds more like a contest than a job application, doesn't
mean,
it?
And
I
also,
think-
it grows Yelp's readership if they're trying to get people to
Right.
But it's only one person.
right. But I wonder how many applicants they're going to have. That'll be
Exactly.
interesting.
Oh, they'll have a lot.
Yeah.
There's a $10,000 stipend available for their efforts.
And it's a 2-month program, December 1st through January 30th.
So, chef, in case you're interested, like changing your profession, now that you don't have restaurants anymore, you can
Yeah.
go out there and take pictures of them.
They probably wouldn't like me as a Yelper.
Next thing that caught my eye, chef, was years back I was down in Portland at Le Pigeon restaurant,
Uh-huh.
and
Fabulous restaurant.
what's his name? I can't remember his name.
Rucker.
Yeah, Darius Rucker. No, that's the
That was
musician.
good.
That's the musician.
Oh,
Anyway,
don't know where I put
it was
that
like
up.
January, and I got a dish with squab and peas. And I said to him, we're sitting at the counter, he was cooking. I just said, dude, what's up with the peas? It's January. He says, oh, I get them frozen. And I thought, that's pretty ballsy to be able to say to anyone who walks into this. It was the top rated restaurant in Portland at
Sure,
the
sure.
time and getting food and wine notice. And he was buying frozen peas for this dish kind of in the off season.
Same story with Daniel Boulou.
Same story with Daniel Boulou,
Ah.
one of the finest
I
chefs in
was
the
like-
world.
I was dumbfounded when my favorite dish, and I had there the first time, was this gorgeous. And you were there, Tom. We had lunch
Yeah.
together with Monique Barbeau at the time, and this gorgeous pea soup in spring, smelled like spring, tasted like spring. Anyway, a year or two later, I'm at Daniel. He's having this party right in front of his restaurant, and I'm talking to him and looking around, and this lady comes to him. Oh, love you, blah blah blah. So I move a little bit aside, and she talks to him, and she said, "Oh my God, what's the secret of that pea
Pea
soup?"
soup.
And he goes, "Oh, I use frozen peas."
Yeah.
I swear, I was like 5 feet from him, and I looked at him, and I was like, "What?" Oh,
so
I was imagining a bunch of guys in the kitchen peeling those little peas, but no, none of that dream.
Like you did at Rovers?
Say what?
Did you do that at Rovers?
No, we never
No,
peeled the
no,
peas.
of course
Come on.
not. So this article was written by Clarissa Buck Zilberman. I believe it was Food and Wine, and she was revealing the 17 items that chefs always buy frozen. And so the one that really caught my eye, which I agree with, is peas. There's another article talking about the things that chefs never buy frozen. And the one in that group that struck me was scallops.
Absolutely.
They just do not. They get all stringy.
Yeah.
The moisture, leaches out of them. When you look in a grocery store fish case and you see a bowl of scallops for sale, if you see that white milky substance at the bottom,
Walk away.
yeah, walk away. Those have been frozen scallops.
Unless, hold on, walk away unless you want to poach them. If you want to poach them, it's going to be okay if you don't
You're killing me, chef.
give high heat.
Yeah.
But if you want to sear them, walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Walk away.
Yeah.
Don't even poach them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you do like scallops, look for dry pack scallops.
Yeah.
And you'll see in the bottom of that same bowl, there's nothing.
Yeah.
They're called a dry pack. They're not punched up
Yeah,
with
almost sticky.
trisodium phosphate and
Yeah.
all that kind of.
So what am I going to
Okay.
do with my frozen scallops I have from Trader Joe's?
You are going to donate them to the cat bowl.
Okay.
You have a
Thank
cat?
you. No.
Okay. Well, then you're out of
Time
luck.
to get a cat.
And my last question, Steph, and you and I go back a long time. One of the reasons we like each other so much is that we come from cooking from a totally different place, right?
Yep.
You are a classically trained, apprenticed French chef since you were 13, 14 years old. I watched and learned and did, and just kind of, I don't want to say seat of my pants. It was more intentional than that, but it was more on the job.
Correct.
Like, yeah, this is who I am and what I do. And I'm not bogged down necessarily by as many traditions as you might have been. I don't think you are anymore, but
No.
one of
Well, the thing that I learned from you, I must say this publicly, is debunking old ideas of restriction.
right.
And that's one thing I really embrace. Well, that's why I stayed in this country in the first place, because I realized there was no BS in a lot of cases. And you could debunk things and try something new. And that's what I really embraced about it, and that's why I didn't stay in that box.
Right.
But you, on the other hand, have turned around and come that way.
So here's a question for you. I was reading again online in the news that if you put a cork into the pot of water that you're cooking an octopus in, or a roast in, or something that you want to tenderize, that by putting a cork in that water, somehow the enzymes from the cork leach out and they tenderize the octopus. And it reminds me of the whole idiotic notion that if you put the pit from the avocado into the guacamole, it doesn't turn brown, which is nonsense.
Which is nonsense for sure on that
So
one.
have you ever done the cork method where you put the cork in with the
I've
braised?
done with and without, and I could not find a difference.
Okay.
And that's the problem with this kind of stuff. I want to hear the scientific, real reason, and I want to see some proof of that, because I personally don't believe it.
I mean, I hoped it worked.
I hope so too.
Because I think that'd be super
I got so
fun.
many corks.
Did you see any cork in octopus when you were in Portugal?
I saw cork, but what I learned is that the cork bark, when they're harvesting it, it takes in 3 to 5 times more carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
And so then, because the trees aren't being cut down. So then I think, well, if you put the cork in your food, are you releasing all that
All
carbon
that
back
carbon
into
dioxide.
the?
That's what I think about oysters.
Ah.
They kind of clean
Yeah,
our
I
water system, and then
know.
you eat the
50
oysters.
and
That
50
are...
clams.
gallons a day,
And clams.
but I love
and-
them. It's worth it.
Anyway, so I'm going to try the cork method. I'm not going to just dismiss it,
Okay.
but I'm going to try it and let you know. I'm probably going to try mine with like a ossobuco or something.
So they said something with octopus, but they also said something with pasta.
I don't remember.
Yeah, with pasta.
You know,
I'm like,
Chef, if you had read the article, you had
I
about
did.
an 18-hour plane ride to read the article.
I
on.
did read the article. So
All right, next is our part 2 of our series with Grace Lin. Her new book called Chinese Menu: The History, Myths, and Legends Behind Your Favorite American Chinese Foods. And American is the wrong word. It just says Chinese foods.
yes,
Chinese Menu. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. I brought that book back.
Have to take
Grace, you're going to see her on the screen so we can interview you for all 7 episodes, and she did all the illustration. I hate that. Goddamn talented. Uh-huh. She celebrates it, yeah. Uh-huh. American Chinese, yeah. I think I even said to her, so we think about an Asian restaurant, if it has Asians in it, it must be okay. Whereas not necessarily, right? We say the same thing about Italians or anybody else, but you know, it's really good Asian food because there's a lot of Asians that eat there. So. It's no different than anything I created, just
right.
different ethnic background. Yeah. But people don't say the same thing about my food. Is that real American food or is that not?
Right. Because you're a white guy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay, here we go. Sean, do you have to say? So we'll have to add that, Liz. What segment, what I discussed in this segment. I did 7 segments and I don't remember exactly. So do you have the list of what I discussed? I wrote it. Oh, I know where it is. It's in my notes. How 2023
It's in your iPad.
There it is. Look at that.
Are you using what are you using?
Notes.
Notes.
Now, I will say that we didn't necessarily stay on my notes because some of her answers were longer.
When is she coming on?
Right now, she's already been in town. I meant to go see her when she was here, but I was at the farm. Okay, I just sent it to you, Becky. So. Here we are. We're back in the hot stove kitchen. Such a fun day here today. Come join us sometime for a class or for some special events that we do, like our Italian intensive coming up on the 21st of October. It's an all day. We have chefs. We got chefs from all over the city that aren't going to be singing to you in French.
Those all-day events are so much
They're
fun.
fun.
Really
They
fun.
are intense.
Yeah, they are intense.
I started this series with Grace Lin. She's got a new book out called Chinese Menu, and it's really kind of the history, the myths, and the legends about a Chinese menu. And we're going to play episode number 2 for you right here on the Hot Stove Show. Oh,
I like
hot.
it.
All right, we're back in the kitchen here at the Hot Stove Society, and we're excited to continue our series with Grace Lin, author of The Chinese Menu, the history, myths, and legends behind your favorite Chinese foods. And I related it right to mostly Chinese restaurants because I know the menu is a big thing, like, that's just what people eat at home or abroad. But for me, I kind of relate it to restaurants. So be it. I'm a restaurateur, doggone it. Welcome back to the show, Grace.
Thank you for having me again.
You are an accomplished author, and we're excited to continue the conversation. Last week, we talked a little bit about tea and the importance of tea, and is American Chinese food inferior to Chinese food? And I think we determined that they both have a place at the table.
Definitely.
Yeah. So when you go to a Chinese restaurant, generally, I think as a Western culture, we think of, well, I'm going to order spring rolls first, and then I'm going to have my soup, and then I'm going to have my Chinese beef and broccoli, or we kind of think about it incorrectly compared to the traditional Chinese menu. Is that true?
Yes. Well, not so much the Chinese menu, but the traditional Chinese cuisine was not served like that, where it's like appetizers, side orders, desserts. They didn't have courses like that. What they did traditionally was that the main dish, everybody had a bowl of rice. That was kind of their staple. And then they would have 3 or 4 dishes on the table. And those dishes were actually considered the sides. And you ate those with your rice or your noodles, depending on if you were in northern China, which was noodles, and southern China, which was rice. So it was really coming here to the United States, these Chinese immigrants who realized that Westerners had this kind of hierarchy of eating of appetizers, main courses, dessert, and realizing they needed to fit their cooking and their cuisine to fit that kind of expected order. And so they started moving things around and taking different foods from different areas and saying, oh, this is an appetizer. Oh, this is a dessert. Oh, right. This is a main course.
Because even the sweets would go on the main table with everything else, right?
Yeah, well, usually sweets were just a completely different time. There was not a dessert course where you ate that afterwards. It's just it would either be at the same time or just completely different time. So it wasn't an order of things. Mm-hmm. So because there was no appetizers really in traditional Chinese cuisine, Chinese chefs, they had to kind of become ingenious, and they took a lot of things that were like festival foods and they offered that as appetizers. For example, spring rolls, they're called spring rolls because they're usually eaten at the spring festival. So that's why that's their festival food, but now they offer them every day as appetizers.
Well, that is so they become ubiquitous, right? And they definitely are considered an appetizer here. So let's talk about spring rolls for a minute, because I think there's a big confusion that people don't know whether to order egg rolls or spring rolls. And I think they'd be surprised to know the difference.
Well, they're very similar. Egg rolls are bigger, wider, and they've got a thicker skin, and they've been dipped in egg and fried. Spring rolls are thinner. They've got a thinner, crispier skin, and they're just usually longer, thinner in general. But it's generally agreed on by food historians, I guess, that the egg roll is kind of a branch or inspired by the spring roll. The spring roll is the inspiration.
And so just to be clear, you're saying an egg roll is basically a spring roll that's been dipped in an egg batter?
Pretty much, and fried. But, things have changed because, Chinese chefs did not have access to the same ingredients that they did in China. So, they adapted. They used different ingredients to get that same kind of feeling. So there's probably more cabbage and stuff in an egg roll than there is in a spring roll. So they filled it with different things as well.
I see. And the wrapper itself is like a wheat paste on I think of, what do I know? I'm just a white kid from Newark, Delaware. But I think of the egg roll as being kind of a wheat paste wrapper, and a spring roll being a thinner wheat paste, or sometimes even a rice paper wrapper.
Yeah, it's definitely a thinner, crispier wrapper, the spring roll. I'm not 100% sure what it's made out of. I'm pretty sure it's rice, but now that you put me on the spot, I don't want to say it without and have somebody be like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, but I know it's completely thinner.
So now, sticking on the spring roll, egg roll concept, typically when I go to a Vietnamese restaurant and I have a spring roll or a cha ya, or I'm not sure exactly what the correct pronunciation is, it's similar to an egg roll, a spring roll, but it has a dip. So here we've gotten pushed into most American Chinese restaurants. I feel like we're pushed into sweet and sour sauce, but I like the Vietnamese version where it's more of a nuoc cham or like a sweet vinegar. What is tradition?
Tradition is the tradition is that according to what I read in the legend, they don't even have any kind of dip. So the legend of the spring roll, the way it was invented was because of a Ming Dynasty minister. What happened was this Ming Dynasty minister got his work done twice as fast as all of his colleagues. And since he got his work done so quickly, the other colleagues were very jealous and they accused him of cheating. They went to the emperor and they said, hey, this guy's cheating. There's no way he can get his work done so quickly. So the emperor called this minister to him and said, how'd you get your work done so fast? And that's when the minister told him, I have this gift. I can write with two hands. And that's how I get my work done faster than everybody, because I can write with two hands. And nobody believed him. So the emperor said, all right, here's 9 boxes of records. Go copy these 9 boxes of records in 9 days. If you can really write with 2 hands, that should prove it. So the minister brought home these records, opened the boxes up, and realized that if he was going to be able to copy all these records, he would have to work night and day, nonstop, even with working with 2 hands. So he started immediately working, not taking any breaks, not sleeping, doing anything, just copying these records. And around the second day, his wife was really worried about him and said, you have to eat. And he's like, no, I can't stop working. I can't stop to eat. My hands must keep writing. And she's like, well, then I'll feed you. And she tried to feed him soup, and she tried to feed him noodles. And he's like, no, too messy. And so she went to the kitchen and she invented a rolled food so that she could hold and he could bite off and not have to use his hands. And so that's became the spring roll. So the very first spring roll had no sauce at all because he didn't want to get his records dirty at all. So that is the tradition.
That is hilarious. It sounds a little bit like the chopstick story of how chopsticks came about, and we can get to that another day. But I don't know if you saw recently that the Japanese are playing around with like an electronic chopstick that simulates saltiness or stimulates saltiness on your palate, so that you don't eat so much salt. And
Really?
reading in your book about chopsticks and where they came from and how they came to be, and all the way to today, where chopsticks are electronically monitored from your wrist so that you don't eat as much salt. The history keeps on coming.
Yeah, they'll have to be like book 2 of Chinese menu.
Exactly. So we've been talking with Grace Lin. She's got a new book called Chinese Menu: The History, Myths, and Legends Behind Your Favorite Foods. And we're going to continue our series in the weeks to come right here on the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM. Hello.
Isn't she awesome?
She's totally awesome.
I was telling Liz, I love when she kind of looks up in the space, because you can just see her brain just like. Have we sent these to her? We should send them to her. Awesome. If you want to send them to me, I'll send them to her with a note. Or our producer could do it.
Nice touch. Yeah, happy to. Perfect.
That part I don't. That part.
I just need whoever's emails and
Don't get smart with me, Missy. I found
Late.
this,
She knows
I
you
found this
well.
in my notes.
Too late for that.
And the funny part is I didn't even need it because I forgot I did all that. It's all taped. I don't need to know where to go in and out of. All right.
She
Where's
came
Sam?
right here. She
Hey.
just walked in. Good morning. Awesome. Love the breakfast one.
Hi Sam, I'm Becky. Becky, nice to meet you.
Becky's taking Pam's spot for a few weeks.
She's got some big shoes.
Pam went out and left us to go save the world. Little tramp.
Someone's got to do it.
Sometimes that's a better cause. I like that. Sometimes.
No, she took over the. She's looking for, or she's took on the executive director role at the senior center and food bank at the Pike Place Market. So she is saving the world. We're very proud of her. Sam, will you pull that mic up to your face?
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering. How's that?
Good. Just pull it over to you. You don't need to lean.
Okay, cool.
Lean like that. Yeah. We're flexible around here.
How's
You
that?
just have to talk. When we talk to you, talk into the mic real tight.
Okay, perfect.
What do you have for us there
Yeah,
before we
okay.
get going?
I brought you something very special. This is a signed bag of coffee from Alex Roldan, soccer player, Sounders
Wow.
soccer player. And
Someone
it's just
know.
for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
so sweet.
absolutely.
Is that coffee made in there or is that your coffee?
That's my coffee. You can have a sip.
Is
though,
it the
if
same?
you'd like. This is actually our KXP blend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let me get someone to make that real quick.
How's everybody doing? Good, good.
What is the breakfast brand that I buy all the time? I can't remember.
We have a
BCC.
breakfast blend.
Is this ground?
I mean,
It
Metropolitan
is not.
Market.
It's whole bean. Yeah, I can ground it on the counter, just like.
Mortar and
Or I
pestle?
can give you
Fine.
this extra grinder I have at my house if you'd
Yeah.
like.
Or if you have a hammer.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
You can call me Thor.
The next grandchild.
The next child.
I love that.
Sam, what's going on? You travel with your own paparazzi. This wasn't
Yeah,
the way it
this-
was the first time you were here.
No.
This show has made you
Things-
famous.
Things have changed.
Yes.
Yeah,
Indeed.
ever since
Yeah.
you've been on this show, damn.
I'm just so glad it worked out my schedule because I have so much going on.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to cover this. What else do you want to cover?
I-
What's unique to Vita because we haven't talked in a long time. So
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to cover. Do we have a few hours?
Yep.
Okay, cool. No, just kidding. I want to cover kind of what we're offering right now, if
Okay.
that's cool with you.
Yep.
Just because I'm really excited about it, and it's been a fun season for Cafe Vita. But biggest thing
Stop.
is yes.
save it for the radio.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I understood where you were going to go with this so that I can help you along your way.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
can be a willing contributor.
We'll probably focus on this guy.
Okay. Chef, are you good?
I'm so good.
Can you... Here it is. It's the hot stove kitchen. We're turning into a Cafe Vita coffee shop here today. Thank goodness the Sounders, Alex Roldan, has joined up with Cafe Vita to unveil the new Roldan Legacy. Ooh, that's very dramatic.
Very dramatic.
Sam Spillman is here. She is going to tell us all about it and about you and your job. We haven't had you on since we had the controversy over the burr grinder incident.
Yes. I'm
Where you
still
told me I
recovering.
had to have one, and some lucky person at Goodwill got it the next week after I bought it.
He's been swearing your name ever since.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you're not. That's fine. No, I love torturing you about that because it's really on me. It's just I'm not sophisticated enough for it.
Okay.
So tell us about you and your job, and then Cafe Vita.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Sam Spillman. I'm the director of coffee for Cafe Vita and your 2019 U.S. Barista Champion. Got to throw that in there.
Oh, living on ancient history.
I'm gonna hold on to it
COVID.
as long as I can.
Keep juicing it.
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole point of it.
Yes.
But basically, I'm in charge of all quality control for Cafe Vita. I oversee the quality of green that we're purchasing all the way to what our cafes, the standards we set in our cafes for wholesale and retail locations. And I run our single origin coffee program.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, when we first opened a Cafe Sport in 1980,
He wasn't born, Tom.
I understand, 80 something. Starbucks we were one of their first retail accounts. Starbucks used to come down with a timer and time my drip coffee pots to make sure I wasn't holding it too long.
Oh my
How
gosh.
things have changed.
Yeah.
Is that what you do for Cafe Vita?
Yeah, I'm that person.
You're that person.
Yeah, I go in, I get in line, I start the timer, and as soon as I get my drink, I stop it.
Uh-huh.
And everybody hates me for it, but it's fine. It's fine. It works out. Yeah, but I'm super excited because the latest single origin was actually in collaboration with the Seattle local celebrity, Alex Roldan.
Mm-hmm.
He plays for the Sounders, which is pretty cool. I tried to challenge him to a soccer game, and probably good it didn't work out because I would have gotten my butt kicked.
I'm sure he felt really threatened.
Yeah, the eye roll and like nice little smile because he's so kind said it all.
So how did you go about that? So you know all about coffee. He knows all about soccer. How did you meet in the middle?
Yeah, so he reached out to us actually. He wanted to collaborate on a coffee. His mom is from El Salvador. His dad is from Guatemala. And so he wanted to collaborate on a coffee that was representative of where his mom was from in El Salvador.
Uh-huh.
So
Just out of the blue, just reached out.
yeah, he just reached out, and he loved Vita being a local coffee roasting company. And I was like, you came to the right place. Like, this is fun. We can really do whatever you want to do. So I put together a bunch of samples from El Salvador. And we
So you
take
use beans from those two countries?
just El Salvador.
El Salvador.
Yeah, he wanted to highlight his mom. His dad was a little bitter about it, but it was fine.
Not the coffee, though. The
Not
coffee
the
wasn't
coffee.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we did cup samples from Guatemala, El Salvador, and we found one that we all just fell in love with, which is this coffee here. It's just like a classic, just clean profile of like milk chocolate, nutty, really sweet, kind of like a candy bar, honestly. It's
Mm.
really good.
So it's a lighter roast then.
It's
If
a
milk
lighter
chocolate,
roast.
yeah.
Yes, milk chocolate instead of like that dark cacao. It's like more milk chocolate, sweeter,
Mhm.
approachable.
I must say, I'm very impressed by I've discovered more and more of Vita. I try more and more of their coffee. I'm very impressed by the fact that they don't do every single coffee beans over roasted.
Yeah, no,
I'm very impressed by that.
thank you.
At Vita, is that what you're saying?
They have a lot of brown coffee, which that's my kind of coffee.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you can still taste the coffee when you drink a cup of coffee.
We're on the same page. We're
Yeah.
gonna be best friends.
I'm on the
Yeah.
other side of the fence on that one. I'm a dark roast guy.
Sure.
So so you worked this, you cupped it. I know I did a couple of collabs with another coffee company in town,
Yeah.
and it's an interesting process, the whole cupping thing,
Oh, yeah.
and getting to a place. We finally ended up in our collab with an aged Sumatra. And I would have guessed walking in that I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the aged and the non-aged and all that. But there's so much going on in different countries' coffee beans.
Yeah. It's a lot like wine. I mean, do you like wine?
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm a huge wine drinker. But
We
it's-
could tell.
yeah.
You know what?
This isn't coffee.
I think he beats you.
Well, I'm down for the challenge. But it's very similar to that. Like the taste is very if you're roasting it properly, the taste is very representative of the origin it's from,
Right.
Mhm.
which is super fun. I
Which
love
is-
tasting things and
Yeah.
like it having like meaning behind it versus just tasting things and be like, oh yeah, that's good
So
or
explain
bad.
yourself.
Yeah. So
Having meaning behind it.
when we taste coffee, as you're tasting coffee more and more, there's different nuances that you pick up on. It really, like when you're a new coffee drinker, all coffee kind of tastes the same. But as you start drinking more and more, you start seeing these different nuances. And it's really cool when you can taste a coffee that was roasted so well to highlight the innate qualities of the
Uh-huh.
coffee. So like I can, and I've been doing this for years too, so that helps. But I can tell an Ethiopian coffee from El Salvador coffee easy
Mhm.
because of the climate the coffee's grown in. Ethiopia is so different than El Salvador that it develops the coffee differently, highlighting acids and sugars in different ways. So when you taste a coffee, it kind of takes you in this journey of not only what are you tasting, but what the hard work that was put into it. How is that coming forward?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing that you were comparing to wine. Once you start tasting many different wine, like Tom, you can do, you can definitely tell the difference on a blind tasting between a Cabernet and a Pinot Noir.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
it becomes very obvious after a long time you've been drinking.
Mhm.
You don't know the first time you drink either or. You're like, whatever,
Yeah.
it's wine. I'll drink it.
Yeah.
But-
So how much is the terroir versus the roasting?
It has a huge impact, and that's why I'm very passionate about how we've been roasting at Vita. When a coffee is roasted too much, basically what happens, and I'll try to like not go too much into the science because I can nerd out for hours. But in the roasting process, there's a process called sugar browning. When heat is added, the sugars start to brown, which is a Maillard reaction. But as soon as a Maillard reaction happens, carbons start to be introduced, which causes bitterness. And that takes away from the terroir. So it's this balance of highlighting the sugars while not taking it too deep into the roasting. So if you have a well-roasted coffee, the terroir becomes everything you're tasting. It's really fun.
What is so you do all this work, you've sourced the best beans, you've done all this work with roasting, and then you get to the store, and how are you a more successful coffee buyer at the store? So to me, I always look at the roast on date.
Mhm.
What's the most that you would ever buy in a grocery store? I mean, if you had the option, right? How old would the coffee be that you would still be okay with?
That's a really good question. We get this question all the time, and I would recommend within a month of it being roasted.
Within a month.
Yeah, actually, if it's less than 7 days after being roasted, there's a lot that you're not able to tap into for the flavor
Mhm.
because it's so fresh. So you kind of want
Even in a gas bag where it changes that much?
So
really?
yeah, it changes so much as it goes. So the first 7 days, it's releasing all these. There's like so many gases packed in there, and you want some of those gases to release. Because when you add water to ground coffee, the gases then release and push the water away from the coffee. So you can actually tap into more flavor if you have like a week off roast to 4 weeks off roast. Yeah.
And quickly, can you tell us what the crema is?
Yes. So crema is a byproduct of the espresso brew method. It is oils and gases. It's beautiful. It's the golden part of the espresso, but tastes awful. That's why when I drink espresso, that's my favorite coffee drink. I'll mix in the crema. It gives this nice body to the espresso, but if you scoop off the crema, it tastes very bitter.
So this Roldan, let's finish up on the Roldan partnership. He's sending it to his mom. Did his mom, I mean, have you been in any part of the family reaction to the whole thing?
I haven't met Mama Roldan yet. I'm hoping one day I get to. But I would say the best thing, the coolest thing about this coffee is we are donating a little bit of each bag to the Mangrove Association, which is an organization in El Salvador that is supporting women and helping them help giving skills to women so they can pursue their profession,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool.
I've never been to El Salvador, but I do love pupusas.
Oh, me too. I've never been to El Salvador. We should go together. Let's go to El Salvador.
Pupusas
right
and a
now.
cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
You know, the restaurant up there on 105th, there between Aurora and the freeway, between I-5 and Aurora, called El Capitan or El Campo or something like that.
What's a
Never heard of it.
pupusa?
Pupusa is a kind of like a masa harina, oftentimes with the blue corn flour, cake stuffed with beans and cheese or with pork or whatever, and they make great pupusas. I'll get the name for you before.
With coffee?
No, of course not.
cool.
But
Good.
with wine.
With wine.
Yes.
Yeah, there we
Wine.
go. Yeah.
And we all did we just decide that coffee and wine are very similar?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So whether you're having coffee or wine in the morning, it's very similar.
The day ends up different.
Somehow
The
the
day
day,
ends up a little
somehow the
different,
day is
though,
going to
yeah.
be different.
Have all the retailers picked this up so people can find this special Roldan coffee at just Vita shops or everywhere?
At just Vita shops, and then I believe you'll be able to find it at some of our wholesale partners, but Vita shops are the best place to find it. Our KEXP location, every Friday at 10 a.m. I host a cupping, and we have this on the table.
Uh-huh.
Come through, come hang out, come taste some coffee.
I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That
Where
sounds
is
like
this?
good fun.
It's at our KEXP cafe in
Oh,
the
yeah.
radio station. Yeah.
I'll even spin a few records if you'd like.
I would love that.
Yeah,
yeah,
me
we'll
too.
get it all set up for you.
All right, it's time for food for thought, tasty trivia. Are you going to stay and play?
Yeah, let's do it.
Good. We like that. Fresh meat, as we call that, right, Chef?
Yeah.
Terry's been off for 2 weeks, so he's a little rusty. On Cairo Radio, it's the Hot Stove Society Show, 97.3 FM.
That was awesome.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. This is amazing.
La Cabana, yeah. So I'll say that when we come back. La Cabana, Cabana or Cabana? Oh, I think you're right.
No, you're
Lock
staying for the
Okay,
tasty
cool, cool,
trivia.
cool.
What does Annie know about it? Vietnam,
You know about the tasty trivia?
Lao country.
No. That I don't even know the questions.
La Cabana.
Believe me, they keep me in the dark as well.
Over the
So
end.
we look like
Yes. No, yeah, over the end. Yeah.
goofballs.
Yeah. It's not coffee. I don't really know much.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Well, you tell me when you're ready, Beck.
I'll just do it on paper. You can't see this, can you? No cheating. I'm ready.
All right, we're back in the kitchen on Cairo Radio. It's the Hot Stove Society Show. Time for food for thought, tasty trivia, brought to you by Rub with Love Spice Rubs. They'll bring a blast of deliciousness to every dish with versatile flavor profiles. Try the salmon rub on ribs. Oh my God. The pork rub on chicken can't be. Or the fish taco rub on braised greens. So delicious. You can find Rub with Love around the country, like AJ's Markets in Arizona, Kowalski's in Minneapolis, or at our locations here in Seattle, Seatown and Pike Place Market, Sirius Pie Ballard, and right here at the Hot Stove Society Show, or go to Tom Douglas & Co. to order some. And by the way, the restaurant that I was talking about, La Cabana, thanks to one of our paparazzi that are here today that covers Sam Spillman, who has stayed to play trivia with us.
Yes.
Did you win the last time you were here, or did you play?
I always win.
You always
Yeah.
Oh.
She didn't even think twice about that, did she? The good news is Becky is our guest producer today, and I get to play today. I haven't played, which means everyone else has been winning. So now that I'm playing,
You're either rusty or we'll see.
we'll see. We'll
I
see.
think you're going to be.
And I
different.
believe that we are living in Portugal for this
This
particular.
is a Portugal themed quiz for sure.
Okay, good. I
Oh
like
my
it.
God. Here we go.
So how do we play?
We're going to have 5 questions for each contestant, and the winner, the one who gets the most right, is the winner.
And they get a little shop in our gift shop of 3 free spice rubs, or they can give it to one of our outstanding radio
Aw.
guests here today. So, Sam, there's just a little pressure.
Okay, I'm a little,
All right.
a little nervous.
Are you guys ready?
We're ready.
Let's start with Chef in the Hat.
You go.
Okay, Thierry, this is going to be an easy one because we talked about it earlier.
Okay.
Please describe what a pastel de nata is.
Oh, it's a pastry with a little egg flan in the middle, and that's baked that way, and it's delicious.
You pronounced flan incorrectly, so nah.
Well, there's a fun fact. Over 300 years ago, in a monastery west of Lisbon, monks developed the recipe to do something with their surplus egg yolks as they used egg whites to do the laundry.
Nice.
Mm.
Interesting. True or false? In
I
the
thought they were going to use the egg white to filter their wine.
You probably did that too.
Yeah, probably. True or false? In the 1500s, it was Portuguese traders and missionaries who brought the tempura technique of fritter cooking with batter of flour and eggs to the Japanese.
That is true.
It is true.
That would be a hard one to make up.
That's.
Yes, that
I'll
would
take
be
a
a lot.
note of that one.
That would be a lot of no.
Okay.
That's
So,
not possible.
which one of these wines are not Portuguese?
Okay.
Vino Verde,
Mhm.
Chocolate, or Madeira?
Chocolate.
Correct. And where's Chocolate from?
Italy.
It's from the Basque region of Spain.
Oh,
But you still get the
I
point.
was close.
You just don't get the bonus.
I jumped into a different country.
You were right in the same continent.
That's right.
Please fill in the blank, and I'll give you a clue.
Blank.
Portugal is the world's largest producer of blank. Clue, it comes from an oak tree bark that is one of the most sustainable materials available
Cork.
today. You got it. Because the tree doesn't need to be cut down to harvest this. Okay, your final question. Portuguese sardines are world renowned. They are often served in a sauce made from what type of fruit that adds a sweet and tangy flavor to the dish?
Fruit. Hmm.
Sweet and tangy. I'm going to go tomato.
You got it.
She tried
nice
to trick
work.
you there.
She
with
was
it.
tricking me.
But so you got 5 out of 5.
Ooh.
Wow.
Good thing you just went to Portugal.
Wow.
Okay,
That's like-
Sam, we got work
that's-
to do.
Okay,
Sam?
Sam.
Okay.
Now you get the
got
joke.
this.
Stretching out. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What is the name of Portugal's most famous fortified wine? Portugal's most famous fortified wine.
She's got that look on
Wait,
her face.
how do you
like,
spell
she's never-
Portugal?
Chianti.
No.
Port.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. That's
All right.
Yeah.
That's all
She
right.
only drinks coffee.
That's
I only
right,
drink
in wine.
coffee.
Yeah, right. True or false? Paella was invented in Portugal.
False.
That is false. It was Spain. And actually, Bridget did a really good piece on the history of on a couple weeks ago. Multiple choice, the world's oldest, largest cork tree is in southern Portugal. It's estimated to be around 236 years old, stands over 45 feet tall, and has a trunk diameter of over 13 feet. Approximately, how many corks has it produced in its lifetime? 100 million, 500 million, or over 1 million?
Over 1 million.
You got it.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
You are taking up right where Pam Hinckley left off.
I've learned from the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
What traditional Portuguese dish combines black olives, garlic, cilantro, and olive oil? It's often used as a topping or dip.
Ooh. I'm gonna say queso.
Tapenade.
Yeah,
I'm
it's totally
sorry.
off. Totally
I'm
off.
sorry.
Tapenade.
Tapenade. Okay,
Tapenade.
cool. I'm learning so much. Thank
oh,
you.
good,
Yeah.
Good. Historically, this is your final question.
Okay.
Historically, Portugal has been one of the largest producers of sardines in the world, with annual catches reaching several tens of thousands of metric tons. Can you name one of the nutritional health benefits sardines contain?
Iron.
Yes.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Oh wow. Oh
Iron.
my gosh.
Omega-3, protein. You got it.
Amazing.
I think iron was the last one, but you got it.
It's in there.
They always iron their proteins.
Omega-3 was the one.
I'm bouncing out for all the other times I won.
Yeah, I
so
understand
I
fully.
just wanted to give you all
You
a
just want to make
chance.
us feel
Yeah.
better.
That's very kind of you.
absolutely.
You'll
Come
have to
back and not
back.
kill us. That's nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Tom, you're back in the hot seat this week. True or false?
Let me just get out my answer list here. Hold on one second.
I didn't email you that. True or false? Just like the potentially fatal pufferfish, when prepared by an extensively trained and licensed chef, the venomous Portuguese man-o-war is also considered a delicacy.
God, they hurt so bad. Yeah, I'm sure you're right, but yes.
No, it's completely
Oh,
false.
God.
Yeah.
They hurt so bad.
Yeah, that would be terrible. In Portuguese cuisine, what is bacala?
Dried cod or salted cod.
You got it.
Mhm.
In addition to the gin and tonic, the port and tonic cocktail is all the rage in Portugal. Which contains more alcohol, gin or port?
Gin.
You got it. 50%, about 50% for gin and 20% for port.
Well, yeah,
It
most
ranges-
American gin, it's on the market is 80 proof, so 40%.
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And most port is around 20%.
Excellent. Vindaloo is a popular Indian dish, particularly in the region of Goa. True or false? This dish was actually introduced to Goa by Portuguese sailors back in the 1500s.
Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
Yes, look at both of you
Yeah.
are
Yes.
nodding your head.
Goa
Okay,
is the Portuguese capital of India.
I think you two gentlemen you have a chance at tying.
No, he got 5 out of 5. I already got one wrong.
Oh, I gave you the pufferfish.
Oh, you
It's
did?
completely false. Yeah.
Okay.
He said,
I
You
said
said true?
I said true.
Okay, never mind.
Am I still in the running?
No.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
Right now, you are.
Okay,
Three.
final question. What is the term for the skillful technique of filleting and deboning sardines while keeping them intact for cooking or presentation?
You're a better chef than me. The fillet. Butterflying.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I would never have.
You wouldn't take time to butterfly sardines?
No.
No.
Certainly no.
You'd have to be an awfully nice friend, like my wife.
There you go.
But she likes them whole. She eats the whole
Ah.
fish. Yeah, she bones and
Okay.
everything.
Well, Terry, good job. Welcome
Oh,
home.
Nice
thank
win,
you.
chef.
You
Welcome
are the
home.
winner.
If you want to be part of
I
the
wanna-
show, join our community on YouTube Live at Tom Douglas & Co. or buy a ticket to join us in the studio right here, like these lovely folks did today. The show is produced by the Tom Douglas team, including Liz, Sean at the studio, Becky, Loretta. Who else? That's it. And our talented editor is Sean, don't call me Del Torre. And our talented editor is, let's do that again. And our talented editor at Cairo is Sean, don't call me Del Torre. Remember, if you miss any episode of our Hot Stove Society show in Cairo, you can listen via podcast. Just subscribe with your favorite podcast app.
Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.
All right, our hood's off.